Good evening. It is 5:31. I call this meeting to order. Roll call, Ms. Rhonda.
Dr. Redis.
Here.
Mrs. McLean.
Here.
Mr. Walcott.
Here.
Mr. Taylor.
Here.
Mrs. Temple.
Here.
Mrs. Williams.
Here.
Ms. Hurst.
She here.
Being that it is summer, we won't have invocation, but we can do the flag salute, so if everyone would stand. Where is the flag?
Where?
Where the flag? The flag. Oh, okay.
We're gonna pretend.
We're going to pretend.
Yeah, we gonna
States
pretend.
over there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Colonel, will you put that on your to-do list?
We need our flag, an extra flag.
For the summer.
We can put it up on the screen.
That's true.
I was gonna try to pull it up real quick, but I didn't get a chance.
For the vision, mission, and moral purpose, last meeting I started at my right, but Miss Person West wasn't here and we missed her so much, so I'm gonna start to my right again. So, vision statement, Miss Person West.
Our community, our school, where your future begins.
Mission, Miss Williams.
Oh.
The North Rock School District will prepare all students for their future by offering a well-rounded, rigorous, relevant, and innovative education that allows each child to achieve their full potential in a safe, supportive, learning environment to be future ready.
Moral purpose, Miss Temple.
As a community, our moral purpose is that all children will achieve, have a high-quality teacher, have a high-quality leader, in a supportive learning environment. We will not allow an achievement gap in the North Little Rock School District.
Thank you. Recognition of people and events, none for the student presentation, but it looks like we have a special recognition.
Yes, we do. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, I would like the two individuals that we're going to recognize to please join me. First is Coach Lee Tackett, or Principal Lee Tackett. If she would come forward first before I gush over you. Hold on to that, Lee. And next, I would like to recognize Mr. Luke King, if he could come forward. Oh, we're going to stand. Can somebody go let Coach Ballon in? If you two could stand right here for me, please. On behalf of myself, this entire school board, I want to recognize these two outstanding leaders and community members, both Lee Tackett and Luke King, for their contribution to our community. They were instrumental. They, at the time, co-led our Millage Campaign Committee, and they did a wonderful job connecting with the community and businesses and just being an advocate for public education and here in the North Little Rock School District. And we just want to take the opportunity to personally recognize you both publicly for your leadership, your dedication, your countless number of hours, the watch party that I was a part of here, and just your commitment to the future of the North Little Rock School District. Would you both like to say a couple words?
No, thank you very much. Thank the board for really, taking the steps needed to put a strategic plan in place that gets this district from a facility standpoint to a place where it needs to be. I was called by Coach Tackett, and there's not many people I would work to do this with, but she got me. She got a lot of people to do a lot of things, but it's for the folks like Coach Tackett that served this district for their entire career, that made this community, that allowed people to tap into what they love about it and go out and vote. So I would thank her as well, because she's a big reason why this thing passed. So
and I would not have done it without Luke King, who I will say was one of my former students back in the day. I had his entire family, and we were very, very blessed with that family. I do this because it's about the kids, and I'll say that it may be on my gravestone when I die. It's about the kids, because that's why I do what I do and why y'all do. And thank you, board, everybody, because it's these kids in this community, and there's a lot of kids that don't have an advocate, and sometimes you just have to step up and be the advocate for these kids that don't have that. And so I will always say it's about the kids, and that's why I was rooked into it and got involved. And then, Luke, I said, you got to help me. And I couldn't have done it without him, and we couldn't have done it. And then, we just got a good group of people that believe in the North Little Rock School District and believe in these kids, and that's what we've got to continue to build with our different committees and retired people and different employees in the school district. We've got to continue to build that love for the North Little Rock School District. So, thank you. Thank you all.
That's it. Before we go into an executive closed session, I wanted to pause and say a sincere thank you to each board member and the entire North Little Rock School District staff for your calls, your texts, your emails, and your countless acts of kindness after my father's passing. It touched me deeply. In a time of great loss, your support brought comfort and reminded me that I am a part of a truly caring family. Your kindness will never be forgotten. Thank you, North Little Rock. Executive closed session per North Little Rock School District Policy 1.14A, stating that private or closed discussions by the board may occur as part of a regular or special board meeting. Executive sessions may be held only for the purpose of considering employment, appointment, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of an employee, or to discuss matters of pupil punishment, if requested by the parent or legal guardian. No resolution, agreement, or motion considered in the executive session shall be legally binding unless the board reconvenes in public session and presents the item for vote of the membership. Finally, Arkansas Code Title 25, Chapter 19, Section 106, 2C1 states, the specific purpose of the executive session shall be announced in public before going into executive session. Please join me in the executive closed session for discussing the following matters: employment, appointment, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of an employee.
We are back in session. We're down to CPPC. Oh, I'm sorry. I always forget that. Public comments. Are there any public comments? There being none, there's no legislative update. CPPC monthly report.
There is none, ma'am, nor is there LPPC.
No, I'm not disappointed. Keep it rolling. Informational items. 12.1 FCC Cyber Grant RFP.
So Mr. Riddle's doing double duty tonight, so he's going to come out behind the camera and give us our high-level overview. Welcome, Mr. Riddle.
Good evening, Madam President, board members, Dr. P.
Sir?
I'll pull the microphone closer so they can hear me. So what I'm going to talk about tonight is our cyber grant we were awarded last year by the Federal Communications Commission for a pilot program for cybersecurity. We were awarded one of 7 schools in the state. We sent out for RFP, and these are results of that request for procurement. So, excuse me. What this pilot program is doing is gauging interest in cybersecurity as part of the larger E-rate program with schools. For E-rate, for those who don't know, it is based off our reduced lunch numbers, our CEP numbers. So with funding decreasing that, so does our E-rate funding. So currently we get 9% discount on network equipment and 85% discount on software we use with it. So here in Arkansas, we are one of only 11 schools and or libraries in the state to get it. We were also the largest district to receive it. Apparently they like the essay I wrote. We're one of 707 in the nation, so I'm actually very proud of that. We were selected for it. Part of it is some data collection from the SEC. So as we get this, they will be coming and asking me, hey, how'd you use this? Why did you use it? How's it working? So basically we're trailblazing for them potentially adding afterwards, which I hope they do. It's modeled after E-rate, but it is different. Basically it's just modeled after, but the money's there. So the initial funding allocation was $200 million. The request was $3.7 billion. I'll let you figure that math out. A lot more money is needed for a government if you're listening. We were awarded $316,000 for it, which was more than we initially requested, so we were ecstatic about that. So what are we doing with it? So right now we have what's called endpoint detection response. It's a kind of a basical for cybersecurity response. With this, we are going to increase that to what's called managed detection response. Hackers tend to like to perform ransomware attacks when we're at home or asleep. So far this year, since July 1st, there's been 2 schools that have been hit. With MDR, there's always someone watching it. So something pings our network or computer, and like, I'm sleeping, no one's here, like I'm at the house, someone will catch it and stop it and help remediate it. So basically it's 24/7 protection on that. And we don't have enough licenses for everyone in the district, but we're gonna target high priority targets, so finance, superintendent, technology, student services, things like that have confidential information they access every day. So we'll implement on those, and we'll also implement on our servers. Another part of this we are also going to purchase is what's called a network analysis and monitoring tool. Basically, it will go out on our network and tell us everything that's on it and what it's doing. It'll give us a visibility we don't have now. So if someone has a random computer hooked up we don't know about, we're going to know about it. And if it's malicious, we'll be able to stop it. So what this ARMIS program will do is it will take an initial snapshot of our network and everything attached to it. And if anything changes or goes other parameters we set for it, it'll basically block it and then try to do remediation on it. So, because we have a lot of, with the student BYOD, whenever we get pings off our firewall of a ransomware event, it's from nothing on our systems, it's from a student device that's brought, so this will help curtail some of that. So category 1 is what this is based off of. It's 9% reduction, cost reduction for us. We only pay 2% of the cost for free and reduced lunch numbers. So for MDR, excuse me, we're going with Sophos MDR, which is the EDR we have now, and this is for a 3-year term, so all these licenses for 3 years. Howard was the winner for this RFP. The overall cost for it for 3 years for 600 licenses is $131,000. Our cost is a little over $13,000. For the network monitoring tool, also a 3-year term. The RFP winner was also Howard for it. The street price is $148,000. Our cost was almost $15,000 for it. So our total cost, if we didn't have this funding, was $208,000, but our total cost was $28,000. So I like cheap things when they work well for me. So this is one of those. And that's all I have for that. Do you guys have any questions for me about it?
No, I was just going to say before you do any questions, so we put this on as an information item and an action item
Yes, sir.
tonight
Yes, sir.
because of the urgency of
Yep.
having to get the RFP out.
Yep.
Mr. Taylor, you have any questions?
Has it already been put on, or we're trying to start that?
So we've already done the RFP process. We
Okay.
did that through, I learned from the first RFP, I did a time it better with the board meeting alignment. We did this RFP in June, and we got over 50 bid packets for it.
Okay.
So we actually had some competitive bids for it.
All right. No.
Ms. Wonkum?
I'm all set, thank you.
Ms. McLean? Ms. Williams?
Would you explain to me, we have a grant, then how do we end up having to pay a cost of $280,000?
So the grant is modeled off the E-rate program to where the grant will cover 90% of the cost, but we are still on the hook for the last 10% of it, which we do with our E-rate. So of that cost, of the $280,000 the software would cost, we're out $20,000, so 10% of it. So it's a grant that doesn't cover 100% of it, but it'll cover the vast majority of it, which is how the E-rate cycle works for it.
Okay, next question. So with this being implemented, I will no longer be receiving messages from Dr. Pete asking me if he could help me out,
Right.
asking,
Unfortunately not.
It
That is over,
you know, I get about 3 of those a week, and I know he doesn't need help from me, so I
it's
ignore
very
him.
surprising how many iTunes gift cards he
So I,
needs.
well, I was just asking what does it cover?
Yes, ma'am.
You send me a check for.
There's a lot of Chick-fil-A
I get-
being
I get
purchased
them
this
all the
week,
time.
especially. Unfortunately, no. With the spoofing and the phishing, there are different products that will help with that. Since we use primarily Google, we have turned up the filter for that as much as we can without it blocking e-finance emails. And everyone wants to pay stuff. Everyone wants that to go through. So we're at the middle ground to where unless we purchase a third-party software to help with that, they're going to get through regardless, even with the best of technologies, because they change all the time. I finally had the honor of someone spoofing me a couple weeks ago. It took them 13 years, but I was very proud when it finally happened. I was asking for Applebee's gift cards. Apparently, we don't even have an Applebee's here. But unfortunately not. When you get those, we try to pull those as quick as we can and remediate those, but that's just the world we live in, unfortunately.
Ms. Person West?
I'm all good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just say something? I just want to congratulate you on your essay that you wrote that landed us this grant. Very good, thank you.
My English teacher in high school would be proud of me.
I'm sure.
job,
We're all
Mr.
proud of you.
Thank you. We're down to the HR license staffing data.
So invite Mr. Smith, who's kind of still doing 2 roles, Executive Director of Human Resource and Assistant Superintendent of Network B. So we usually do this once a year before we start school, and Mr. Smith, under his leadership, has started this. So he'll give you that high-level overview, a little trend data, and where we are today. Welcome, Mr. Smith.
Dr. Paluski, Madam President, members of the board, thank you for having me this evening. As Dr. Paluski stated, we try to give the board an overview whenever we start our new fiscal year, kind of where we've been from an HR perspective as far as our licensed staff goes. It's a really good way also to give our community an update in regards to where we are as a district. So the purpose of the presentation, as I said, is to give the school board and the community licensed staff trend data information in order to prepare for this next fiscal year. There's a national teacher shortage. That's no secret to anybody, but particularly in 2023, kind of after we walked past that COVID blip in the world, there was 150,000 more job openings than hires. And so that's a very large number. There was a lot of people that exited the teaching world just because of the nature of having to be face-to-face and all of the germs and everything else. And so 2023 was probably what I would say one of the most crucial years in regards to openings because it was very difficult to find individuals entering the profession. As far as Arkansas goes, we define shortages based on different means, but a geographic shortage areas, as you can see, Pulaski County Schools is 37% of the total demand. If you read the line, it says the following co-op regions have been identified as geographic shortage areas. In this region, 1/3 of total teachers fall into total demand category. So unlicensed, retired, T-dropper, eligible to retire. Statewide subject shortage areas, we at North Little Rock, special education, science, math, those are generally kind of our hard areas to fill, but you can see it extends beyond that. A lot of people struggle with foreign language. I said math and English, science, social studies, special education. So why are teachers leaving and why have they been leaving? I think we're finally starting to see individuals coming back to the profession, but really the main reasons individuals during this time were leaving was inadequate teacher prep programs, lack of mentoring or support, which North Little Rock has taken steps to address, work conditions, COVID-19 stress, burnout, things beyond that, other career opportunities. A lot of individuals during the COVID era figured out that, teachers are demanded a lot. There's a lot of things they can juggle, and so they explored other opportunities within their fields and their expertise, and they found that they were pretty successful within that. Retirement, a lot of individuals in 2020, if they could retire, they did. Personal reasons, highly mobile workforce with the new generation, economic factors, new vision, mission, and direction of an institution. So licensed staff turnover trend data 2020 to 2025. So as you can see, March 2020, that was whenever COVID-19 took over the state of Arkansas. That's whenever we dismissed as a state and went home for the rest of that 2020 year. And so 1920 was whenever it hit. We started tracking staff turnover during that point because I started in January of 2020, so right before COVID. So as you can see, we trended up 2020, 2021. Well, you didn't see as much individuals retiring and leaving because we were all virtual at that time. And so there wasn't much of an issue, but then we decided as a state to come back, and so you saw an uptick. And then as you can see this year, we have dropped back to below pre-COVID rates. And I think it's important to note here, this is the first year at the building level leadership we had one turnover, and that was because an individual got promoted. And so 7th Street assistant principal is the only building level leadership we had to replace this year, which is the first time that's happened, and that's because the individual went on to be a principal. So very proud of that. I think that's huge for North Little Rock, and us having a stable building level leadership this year. Going into this year, I think we had a completely different leadership institute because everybody knew where we were going and all the experience. So I always do a comparison. Right now we have 28 licensed vacancies as of 7/22, which is a couple days ago. PCSSD had 45 at count, Little Rock School District had 39, Conway had 12, Springdale had 23, and Bentonville had 30. And North Little Rock School District, of those 28, 13 are licensed teachers that we would consider classroom teachers. How are we addressing issues and concerns in regards to teacher turnover? So we have one more year in regards to our 7th Street reconfiguration and transformation stipend. I'd like to make the board aware this is a good time. We're also going to make our staff aware whenever they get back on contract. That is depending upon title funding. And so right now it's Title II. Title funding is still up in the air in regards to the release of that, and there is a line in there that we were forward thinking in regards to this that the board passed, that it is based upon funding being available. And so us passing that 3 years ago was very forward thinking from where we are, and it does not mean that we will not do it if we don't get title fund, but we would have to come back to the board for an action with the blessing of Dr. Pawlowski and everything in order to find another funding source for that. Special education teacher stipends, and then licensed tuition reimbursement policy. Whenever I presented this last year, the board did pass the change from 3 years to 1 year to bring teachers in and continue on with their education. We also have teacher residency programs, and I think the state has done a really good job in regards to the recruitment of these different types of programs that are really helping with our teacher workforce. We have MOUs with UCA, ASU, Arkansas Tech, UAPB, and Harding. There's also now a teacher residency model. We have employee career advancement programs, NLRSD aspiring leaders pathway programs, levels 1 through 4. We're still implementing the later stages, but we've got that off the ground. Internal advancement, building the bench, as Dr. Paluski would say. Professional development, Summer Leadership Institute, preparing everybody, and then principal leadership meetings. One of the other things we've done as well is just the basic work from an HR perspective with our contracts. So now in a post-LEARNS environment, you do not have the ability to rescind your contract. Once you sign it, you are locked in. We still, it is not required, but we still give that 30-day window per our policy that went away with LEARNS. So we issue contracts, we get them out a lot earlier now, and we generally try to time it so that we have a picture the week before individuals are going off contract, that we have a full breadth of who is coming back to us for the 25-26 year.
Can you repeat the part about
Sure.
Because of LEARNS and the contract and not getting out, because I've gotten phone calls, why you won't let me out my contract?
Sure.
Can you repeat that?
Yes, ma'am. So in pre-LEARNS, what the law was is that you gave individuals 30 days to sign their contract, and then the last day of school, the last day with kids, it doesn't matter if you extended 2 weeks, you had 10 days to rescind your contract after the last day with students. That went away. And so what has happened now is LEARNS requires you to give an extended amount of time. And what we say as North Little Rock, and the recommendation from Mr. Beckett is to stick with what people were used to. So we did. It was 30 days. But if we put our contracts out in February, then individuals have to sign them 30 days from that. Generally, the way we have functioned is we try to time it so it's right towards the end of school. So if individuals do have other opportunities and things like that, there is the ability to do that, but we also need to serve the students of North Little Rock. And so we want to be clear before individuals go off summer break what our staffing looks like so we can hire during the hiring season. And so then also internal transfers, as Dr. Paluski calls this, whack-a-mole. And so individuals basically going from Crestwood to Ridge Road, from Ridge Road to Lakewood, wherever. We put a hard stop deadline on that, where that's only allowed freely by our employees until June 13th. And then we require what we call a backfill. So before I, the principal of Lakewood, can take a teacher from Crestwood, I must fill that position that is going to be vacant at Lakewood before I allow them to transfer. And so our staff has become very familiar with this process, and they're all very used to what we do. Assign and monitor mentors to new teachers, network assistant superintendents, curriculum department supports, facilities. I mean, we just passed one of the biggest millage in the state. We're going to have awesome facilities for all of our students, Old Main, indoor practice facility for our sports, and then a brand new middle school, which I'm super excited about. Competitive pay, $50,000 minimum salary based on LEARNS, $72,000 $900 maximum salary with a doctorate. And then the state implemented merit pay system. That was huge this year. And so, Dr. Paluski, I don't know if you remember the amount. I think it was a couple $100,000.
No, it was in the range of, I think, around $200,000. There are different reasons you can get merit pay. One of those, and we talked about that at our back to school, is merit pay based on growth in your classroom. So we had, I think, 15 teachers somewhere in there that got $3,000 because of the amount of growth they've shown in 1 year. But they also can get it in other categories. But
geographic shortage areas. Yeah, absolutely.
Is that, real quick, Jacob, is that paid out of district or state?
State.
It's state.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Safe and healthy learning environments, reorganization of safety services, armed staff in all our schools, revision of the fighting policy. We did a no tolerance, extended planning time with our early release calendar. We thank the board for that. I think teachers are really getting on board and really appreciate that, especially since Dr. Paluski came and redid it and gave dedicated time back to teachers for them to use as well. And so that's been received really well. And then investment in our building leaders, professional development, climate conversations with action steps. That was all this week. We focused on what we need to do professionally, but also we need to be building our culture and climate and moving forward in a positive light. And so that was a big point of the Leadership Institute. Besides that, I'd like to open the floor for any questions if you guys might have any.
We'll start at this end, Ms. Person West.
How, when we go back to the slide as far as why, or the kind of the listing the reasons why teachers are leaving, do you know if discipline plays a factor into that as far as student discipline, or was that not a issue?
I would say I don't have any of that data. I mean, it is a marker point in research in regards to what you would consider, help me with the word, I apologize. Not rural, but
Environment, cultural environment?
no,
Urban.
urban, I apologize, thank you. Urban, in an urban school district, generally turnover rate for new teachers is a little more difficult. Some cite discipline, but a lot of that can be overcome with good processes and good mentorship. So
Okay.
classroom management being supported by seasoned teachers really helps.
I'm good.
Ms. Williams.
Oh, I thoroughly enjoyed the fighting loud that you put in. It's explained totally.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think when administrators see this, or teachers, that'll be some retaining. A lot of things would disappear with this, and thank you for being so in-depth,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Jacob.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Ms. Temple.
My question is, how about the HR position? Is that
We start interviewing next week.
perfect? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. McLean.
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Ms. Wonkum.
No questions, thank you.
Mr. Taylor.
Do we know what our payroll costs were prior to reorganization and then after reorganization?
The payroll cost, you mean when, before the reorganization, how much we were paying in salaries to afterwards? When we did the reorganization, what was the net, what was the savings out of that? Yes. So remember the last workshop we did, and then the workshop before that, Mr. Brown, in that document, it's on the last page where it shows before the reorganization and what we were paying, the reorganization, and then afterwards where we get, we projected, I think, 5.2, and we were down to just a little over 5. But that is broken down in that document on the last page. I'm going to guess 16 or 17. But yes, sir, it's there.
So I must have misunderstood that. So all the savings was in payroll.
Well, remember when we went through that whole process of the reorganization of the new structure, vacant positions, all of that got us to the 5, because we needed that to be solvent to balance our budget, so to speak. Yes, we are in good shape with that, and I think that's been part of our discussions as a board is we're looking for additional cost savings because we want to give all of our employees a raise or a bonus, going in the immediate and in the long term that we know that we want to, which will also contribute to supporting our employees with staying.
Were you asking if the entire 5.2 was employees?
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's a good question. So remember there was $1 million in the operating budget that the superintendent under the purview can say, we're going to cut back on food, we're going to cut back on this. So that was one of the line items we did early on, was over $1 million in the operating budget. And that's all broken down,
Yeah,
that
and
Mr.
see,
Brown.
that's why I'm saying, I know there was some different
Yeah.
pieces, but if you look at the payroll before, how much was that? And just the payroll now, do we know what that is?
Yeah, and we'll be happy to put that in the next, that'd be a good, we can redo that in the our weekly board report for next week, Mr. Brown. We'll break all that down so all the board members have it.
Okay.
Be happy. Awesome.
Any other questions? Great report. Thank you for doing dual role. I know it's been
Bye.
difficult, and hopefully you'll go back to a single role soon.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job. Mr.
Thank
Smith.
you all.
Thank you.
We are down to action items. The first one is employment of personnel.
Madam President, members of our Board of Education, action item 13.1 is the employment of personnel. The superintendent recommends the employment of personnel as discussed in executive closed session.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I so move that we accept the recommendation for the employment of personnel 13.1.
Second.
It has been properly moved in second that we accept the employment of personnel as discussed in closed session. There can be no discussion because it is employment of personnel, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes. 13.2, construction bond sale number 1. And there is a specific motion that has to be made in it.
Madam President,
Yes, ma'am.
I also move that we adopt the resolution authorizing the issuance and delivery of the $9.935,000 North Little Rock School District Number 1 of Pulaski County, Arkansas, construction bonds dated July 30th, 2025, and other documents pertaining thereto as prepared by the Friday, Eldridge, and Clark Law Firm.
Second.
It has been properly moved in second that we accept the adoption of the resolution authorizing the issuance and delivery of the $9,935,000 North Little Rock School District Number 1 of Pulaski County, Arkansas, construction bonds dated July 30th, 2025, and other documents pertaining thereto as prepared by the Friday, Eldridge, and Clark Law Firm. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is adopted. 13.3, North Little Rock High School turf and track replacement.
I'll probably ask Coach Ballon and Colonel Stanger to come forward just to provide Coach a high-level overview as it relates to our turf, how it gets certified every year. Please provide the board with a background and the track
Sure. Yes.
and the cost.
And the cost. Yeah.
All
Okay.
the things.
All the things. Okay. Thank you for having us. So we are going on. The turf and track have been down for right at 12 years. This is our 11th year to play on it, but it was laid prior, so it's been in the elements and it's on a 10-year warranty. So we're actually beyond. We're kind of saving money right now. But if you've been out there, the track is in really bad shape. There's potholes. We even get calls from the community. You know, they're not happy with the way, they're walking and those type things. So started looking at how can we afford this. It's time, something we need to do. So started getting quotes at the beginning of the year. We had conversations about it, how we're going to, what do we need to do. So did a lot of research, and this is the company and proposal that we would like to recommend. It's Sprint Turf. As you can see, to redo the turf, it's right at $452,000, and that's removal, and then they put a new one down. They will reuse the granules that are in it. They've got a machine, and that saves us about $38,000 to reuse it, which is highly recommended. And so there's not really any reason to replace that when it still functions fine. So we chose that route, saved some money there. And so the track to redo it was right at $347,000, and then there's a couple of things that we would like to add. Like alternate 2 is a sideline logo. We don't have that now, but in the players' box, it's a big dog town, and so something we thought, if we're going to do this, we'd love to be able to, go ahead and do that, especially with the savings on the other end. And then in the center, the NLR. We're at the offer, or the to add is to go to basically a double size the logo, and so that cost is there as well. The total for everything was just shy of $1 million. It is the cheapest quote that we got out of 4, and it definitely would be the nicest, if in my opinion, in the state. And so doing that. We did a lot of homework and research on that. So,
Coach. So ultimately, part of the overall plan, obviously, when this would, if approved, we'd start this minor construction project at the end of the football season. By that time, construction will probably be going for the indoor sports complex and that entire area right there, so this will go concurrently. Also part of this, we will also, in that plan somewhere, we have to move the bandstand anyway to lay down the new track. If you try to do just the track versus the turf, you're going to tear one of the two up. You need to do them concurrently. We'd wind up moving the bandstand to the far northeast corner, where I think originally was intended. It was a cost-cutting savings back in the day where it was placed where it was.
With a roof.
And then we'll put a roof over it, so we won't be one of the few schools that the band can't play at a home game when it's raining. So we will look like Benton, Bryant, Conway, Jacksonville, and a couple other schools that, you know, actually do that. And so
It's just
this,
the right thing to do.
yeah, it is. We cannot host track meets there because the track is such atrocious condition. Yeah, it's just, I can say we got our money's worth out of it, but it's been over a decade, and it's at this point it's just got to be done.
Hey, Coach, before we start questions, can you explain to the board where, as it relates to student athletes, that somebody has to come out and test
Sure.
That every year, and what that means to player and player injury, and actually certifying, I think, to play on every year. Can you explain that?
Yes. So there is, it's called a GMAX test, and so what they do, it's about $3,000, and they come out, and essentially they go to different spots, and there's a company that tests it, and they're just testing to make sure it's safe. It's still got, you know, it's still protective, you know, and those type of things. So in this contract, I was able to negotiate 5 years no cost, and also so what they'll do is they'll do the test plus they do a conditioning of the field every year. They sanitize it. It's a pretty lengthy process that they'll do. They'll do that for the first 5 years of it, and then beyond that, they'll give us a discounted rate. And so that's at no cost. And it was something that we were able to negotiate into the contract, kind of with the reusing the rubber and those type of things. So it's definitely something we want to do. It's something that we need to do, and it's kind of expensive. So we're able to get that on the other end. Those two things together kind of give us the savings if we wanted to go and do those two alternates, which I think we should. And it really is the money kind of comes out to be the same.
The industry standard on that kind of warranty is usually 2 years. So we negotiated and got up to 5.
Mr. Taylor, you have any questions?
No.
Ms. Markham?
You know I do. Okay, total cost $888,240. That includes all things above. So whenever you say the base bid, the alternative 1, alternative 2, alternative 3, that's all included on the $888,000. With that being said, we've got 2 or 3 spots that are lower. We gather water in a few places. Will that fix? Whenever we lay the new turf, will they, I guess, level it out to wherever those divots are? We no longer retain water in those water puddles. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It does. Yeah. So what they do, when they pull that, they cut. It's kind of a neat process. They cut sections out, and they put it through the machine, get the rubber out, and they'll laser level and make sure that everything. So over time, maybe we had some settling. Yes, they go back in. It'll be done perfect. If you've seen Sylvan Hills' new turf and track, this company just did theirs. So if you want to see their work, drive over there and take a look. They just finished it less than a month ago. So they do a lot of the schools in this area, and so they're not some no-name company. I mean, they're very local, and so yeah.
Okay, who has final design? Who has final say on the design for our logo in the middle? For whether it's an NLR, whether it's our CAT, whether it's whatever it may be, who has the final say on that? Here's my reasoning for that. There's been 2 or 3 times we've had shirts made throughout the district, and it looks more like the Conway Wampus cat than it does the charging Wildcat.
Yeah.
And can I just tell you that's a pet peeve of mine? Like when I see that shirt, I'm like, that ain't us. No, go fix that. So please pay attention to that is what I'm telling you.
Sure.
Whoever has the last design say on that, please make sure it's a charging Wildcat and not that Conway cat is what I'm telling you.
Got it. Yes, ma'am. So it'll be the interlocking NLR like we have now. It'll just be much larger. Instead of saying NLR, it'll scream NLR. So,
Very good,
yes, ma'am.
very good.
I'd just like to say we congratulated Mr. Riddle on his essay, and I congratulate y'all on your negotiating
Oh,
skills.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Temple?
My question is the track. It seems like it would hold up longer. What happened to it that it's pitted and, is,
The track, it's just the surface it's made out of. I've dealt with this a couple times in a couple other tracks in my prior career. They go from, the normal person running on with tennis shoes to spikes. It's out in the sun. It's made of a synthetic material that expands and contracts way more than a football field does. And it'll take a beating. Then after a while, dry rot's probably not a good term, but that's essentially what happens. And then once it's through the surface, water infiltrates down to the base layer, and you'll just see these parts where they just start falling apart and have to be resurfaced. For this one to go as long as it did is a big surprise. The last few that I've been involved in lasted about 6 to 7 years. So this one, was pretty good to begin with, but it's just a little long in the tooth now.
okay.
And I would add too, just piggyback on that. So you can, kind of like with the turf, so this is a complete, like they're going to tear it out. It's sprayed on concrete.
Mm-hmm.
You can do over like every couple of years, if you need to fix a spot here or there, you can kind of do patchwork where you really can't on a turf. We haven't ever done that. So it's just kind of been like we put it down and it's just run its course. So moving forward, as we see something that pops up, we'll be able to this is going to be a completely like tear it out and do a brand new one.
All right.
Ms. Williams?
Thank you for thinking outside of the box.
Yes,
Coach.
ma'am.
It's about time, 11 years, and all they've been doing is patching and turning. And we should treat that stadium like we treat our homes. We always know there, and this time it's a major repair because we haven't kept it up the way it should have been kept up. So I'm 100% of what you're actually trying to do, because we've really, I hear you say, we've really been wasting our money patting and turning on the situation. You can't patch stuff. We don't patch our homes like that. We need to treat our schools the same way we treat our homes. And that means give them service when they need it. But we've waited a little bit too long. Now we're playing what? Catch up. But it's all good. 11 years, it's about time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Person West?
I thought when we kind of had a conversation at one point about maybe the turf needing to be replaced, was it said somewhere, and maybe I'm remembering something else, but we can take the turf and recycle it or resell it somewhere else? Did we have that conversation at one point?
Maybe, so we can't resell it.
Okay.
But like Coach McMahon for softball and their cages outdoors, they can cut it to
Repurpose
fit.
is
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say, not recycle it.
Yeah, we can repurpose some of it. We can't sell it. We can't like take it to the middle school and lay it down over there, for safety reasons. So we can use some of it in places like the softball batting cage or out at Burns Park in the baseball, things like that. But as far as like taking it and using it somewhere, no, you can't legally do that for safety reasons.
I'm excited. No, I was just going to ask one more question, Ms. Temple, if you don't mind. With that being said, you have a new track, a new situation out there. Would that be something that we can in the future maybe hold, like the invitationals or the districts and all that kind of stuff, being that we have?
Yes, so
great
question.
Revenue
And
generator.
so this is something that's a good question, and this is something, another reason it's necessary is we cannot host, and so any kind of track meet. And there's more than one reason. This is the biggest one. But what happens is all these other schools host them, so we're going to everybody else's place, but we never can have them here. So it kind of becomes a problem. So it's kind of like everybody hosts one each year, and so you do one, and then you get to go to everybody else's. Well, we just kind of get to go to everybody else's. We don't ever be able to. Once we move the bandstand, because that's an issue on handoff, so now you have to pay more officials. They really don't even like hosting them here back when we first built it because you can't view it. And so it becomes another problem. And so once we get that moved and all this is down, absolutely, we're going to, and as you can see, we're putting in to host everything we can. And so this year, you know, we've got several already that we're awarded. So that would obviously be one that we would go right after to show off all of our facilities.
And just real quickly, plug Saturday.
Saturday, okay. So, yeah, so Moses Moody, former Charging Wildcats, hosting his camp here, bringing Draymond Green. I don't know how many times he's been an MVP, but it's a bunch. He's coming. We're going to have, they got like 160 or 162 kids from ages 12 to 15. They've been over there all day today setting up. We were able today to fix all the broken seats and replace a lot of things in both sound systems so that it needed to be done anyway, but it was a perfect time to go ahead and just bite the bullet. And so they're super excited. Moses was actually on campus 2 days ago, walked around his own school. They reminisced. It was fun. They went in the locker room. We had a really good time. They're really excited about it. And so that'll be from the kids' camp will be from 1 to 4, from 11:30 to about 12:30. It's called Play with the Pros, and it's a closed, but Draymond and Moses, and there's about 10 others.
Clay Thompson is in town. Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, so who knows what we got up our sleeve. But they're all come. It's going to be a really good time, and so we're really excited about it. I will throw this out. Told Dr. P yesterday, so since this kind of came out, Nick Smith has contacted me. He's wanting to do something in like 3 weeks, which is great. You know, it's hard to turn things around, but these guys, I'm hoping that Khalil will reach out as well.
Come on, Khalil. Where?
Yeah, we've got a vision for down the future for all those guys to do something together.
Awesome.
So we're just kind of one thing at a time. But yes, Saturday, if you can stop by, please do. And,
appreciate your vision on that too.
Thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to circle back because Dot's comment confused me because I thought you had said on the maintenance of the turf in the field that it's gone past its useful life by a year or more, like it's done better than. So I'm just confused. Did we neglect to maintain something, or
No, not necessarily neglect to maintain it. It's just even when the warranty's 10 years, it's not a full like replacement warranty. If it's a major, you do what you can with what you have, and there's a lot of other things that go on. So, I mean, I would expect this to last us if we do it as long or longer than what we've gotten. So, yeah.
In the last 6 months, we've changed our maintenance philosophy on a much more preventive. I mean, right now, I don't want to go down the road, but HVAC's corner of the realm. It's that time of year. We seem to do this every summer, every time we're going to open a school. But definitely we're paying for some sins of the past, but we're getting over that hump and bending the cost curve on some of that stuff. So,
I would also add that met with Mr. Brown, and we're working on a plan to save every year, so that when 10 years hits, it's just, hey, we got it in this fund, and so it's while we will still come to you, it's already there. We've saved for it, and you know, like anything else. So we're working on that. We've got that going for us, and so.
I just have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
You said that you would, if it passes, you will begin after football season. So what's the approximate timeline before it would be ready to have track meets?
Yes, ma'am. So
Coach, when we go to the state championship for football, so that goes into what, December?
Yeah, that'll go. Yeah, it may take a little longer. So the way it works is if this is approved, we'll contact the company. They'll go ahead and they'll start making this, and we'll have to approve specs and things like that. They make it now. It takes them a while to just make the materials and the product. Then they'll store it until we're ready. As soon as we call them, they're going to be on go. We also got a discounted rate because we're doing it at that time of year, because most people do it in the summertime. So they're less busy, and so we were able to get a discounted price with this by doing it at that time. We couldn't turn it around fast enough for football anyway. It's safe, you know, and we'll be able to get the track and everything. It's about a month turnaround to do it all, you know, weather permitting. Yeah. But usually, you know, soccer and track and everything, they want to hit it into January, 1st February when it's, you know, decent, and then they start. So we've also Over there between Child Nutrition and the old high school, there's a flat grass area. If you can picture that, or if you drive by on Poplar, that we've been able to do a lot of work on. And so we're using that as well as if soccer uses it in the off season, some other people will use it. But if there's a little bit of delay, we're not going to be able to, we won't skip a beat. They'll go over there. It's not the stadium, but they're still practicing. So we've kind of got that in our back pocket as well.
So you have a plan.
We have a plan, yes, ma'am.
There you go. Is there a motion?
Which one are we doing?
North Florida High
Bid
School
1,
turf
2,
and track,
3.
13.3.
We're doing all of it. It's all of them. It's
All
that's
of it?
included.
All of it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Now, wait a minute, you usually complain when I make all these motions, Dory.
I was trying to give you a break.
Okay. Madam President,
Yes.
I also move that we accept the North Little Rock High School turf and track replacement.
Second.
Say the rest of that.
It is,
Second.
I don't know.
where is it?
To,
Where it says
to
spring
include the
Where is
base
it?
bid, alternative 1, alternative 2, and alternative 3.
Right.
I was just gonna say, read that.
Well, look at your, go back, 'cause,
To approve. spring.
Those,
What
alternatives are
Brian
just
wants to say.
add-ons.
Yeah, I would say where it
Yes.
says the recommended action.
Okay.
Is,
You
that's
see it?
what we would need to read.
What you got, Brian?
He got it.
If you'll use the amount that's on the yellow sheet.
We see it.
Uh-huh.
So we got the recommended
got
action
it.
So
right there. which is the-
there's a base bid, there's alternatives, but there's also sales tax and a performance bond that's added in there. So
We
the
got it.
amount that's in the yellow sheet, that's 900,000, that's the
Mi-
amount. that
Yeah,
we-
Ms.
got it.
Ms. Colquitt has it right on here. She took it
Okay.
right from your
that's,
yellow.
it's right here.
Okay.
We're
So-
ready.
Madam President,
Yes, ma'am.
I also move that we accept the recommendation for this Sprint turf quote for $987,212.14 to replace the turf and track at North Little Rock High School, which includes sales tax and performance bond.
Second.
It has been properly moved and second that we accept the recommendation to approve the Sprint turf quote for $987,212.14 to replace the turf and track at North Little Rock High School, which includes sales tax and performance bond. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
13.4.
That was a lot, Sprint turf quote.
FCC Cyber Grant RFP.
Madam President,
Yes.
I also move that we accept the approval and purchase of the software as outlined in the FCC Cyber Grant RFP 2025.
Second.
It has been properly moved in second that we accept the FCC Cyber Grant RFP as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes.
Madam President,
Yes.
I also move that we accept the special meeting minutes, June 26th, special meeting minutes, July 10th of 2025.
Second.
Second.
It has been properly moved in second that we accept the special meeting minutes from June 26th and July 10th. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? It passes. The consent agenda.
Madam
Madam
President,
Chair,
Go ahead.
come on, Angela, you can read.
Go. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Come on, Angela.
Okay.
She coming.
Cool. Don't snap at me, but I got it. Consent agenda 14.1, bank reconciliation, 14.2, net legal balance worksheet, 14.3, monthly fiscal reports, financial reports, 14.4, business office items, 14.5, payment of regular bills, 14.6, facilities use request, none, and 14.7, approval of the consent agenda. Oh, wait a minute.
It's okay.
Second.
I'm sorry. It has been properly moved in second that we accept 14.1, 14.2, 14.3, 14.4, 14.5 of the consent agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes. Are there any acknowledgements? I just have one. We discussed at our last meeting that we would always talk about or say something about the construction projects, but we didn't have any, so it's not on the agenda. So I just want to let the public know that we did all the discussions at our last meeting. But the next meeting that we have, if there's anything on there, we will always bring it to the public to be transparent.
And I just want to say, Madam President, we will, we should have had it on this one. We will always have construction on there, even if there are no updates. It will be a standing agenda item.
Okay, I have acknowledgement from your reports that you reported on for this past week. Mr. Brown, I want to commend you on the budget analysis that we learned so much and informing us that DESA said in a decade we would lose children. They see it coming down from 7,000 to 6,000, but that means we as a board, we're gonna have to really work positively to keep that from happening. And also I wanna commend you on your day-to-day projects of getting Beersley, that you know that since we voted on tonight, you put their packet in there, and on the 30th, we shall receive those precedes. Dr. Stowe, I want to thank you for the 450 students that you had and securing 17 ESL people to translate for our Hispanic families. And also, in your next report, please explain to me about the Rockefeller grant, the parents. You got 2 people doing it, but if you would give the board a clarity. And then too, Mr. Smith, thank you for your dual role that you're doing until we get somebody. And Coach Balan is gone, but I want to say to the parents that are listening, we will have volleyball, cheerleading, and basketball at all schools. And they're asking if parents or our stakeholders would contribute to help get the kids jerseys, $25 a pop. So I'm going to volunteer to make sure that I try to find sponsorship, and also to congratulate Coach Balan for being elected president for the 2nd term for the junior high conference, high school, because of things that we've been doing with our elementary people. Yeah. And so with that thought in mind, I don't think I left that in. And thank you for the general contract update, Mr. Brown. I read that too. You really did some hard work. And thank you, Dr. Stowe, for the IEPs that will be given to kindergarten before what? School start. So I want to thank all of you administrators for a good job that you're doing. Thank you.
Madam Chair, real quick, since we're getting ready to enter into our heavy back-to-school season, just remind everyone to look at the district's website. We this year have a QR code. If we have anybody or community members that want to donate to the backpack drive and then also our school supply drives, to make sure that we have a substantial and a good amount to give that back to the district.
If anybody else, I'll clean up. Madam President, it's that time of year. 17 days until we start the 25-26 school year. Want to recognize all of our leaders and central office leaders. We had probably one of the best leadership institutes the last 3 days at the high school. Also, I want to just put on everybody's radar, August 14th will be Meet the Charging Wildcat Night. This is where we're going to recognize any student that's in any club or student activity or sport in our football field. So it should be a well-packed night. Please come out. I think there's going to be a lot of fellowship within our community. So excited. That's right on the horizon. 17 days until we start school. It's like Christmas to me.
Second.
It has been properly moved and second that we adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?